Let's watch Judai versus Marco. Are you ready? This is also game 3.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Flame Swordsman is generally seen as a turn 2 card, but being played with Infernoble. Infernoble is one of the most powerful turn 1 decks. So what is this? Spell and trap card negate, spell and trap card negate, monster negate. Pop a monster on the field. We have imperm negate a monster, imperm negate a monster. In the graveyard, I don't think we have Promethean. I missed it if we summoned it. No Promethean, but we have Roland, which can equip onto a monster, which will trigger the Charles to pop a card in the field. We have about 7 disruptions, and that should be all that there is. Let's go. Activate the Labyrinth. Set 4 pass. Why not just set 5? Set the Nadir Servant, mate. All right, we're going to link this off right away into our Promethean Princess, locking us into fire monsters only. We still have the 2 spell and trap card negates, even though it's our own turn at the moment, as the Promethean reborns from the grave the Ogier. Ogier, send from the deck here the Magus. Magus return back 3 cards to now draw a card. Get drawn, get replenishing. Durendal searching our deck for a Renaud, which we don't have room to even special summon. Equipping the Aldmace, trigger the effect to pop a card in the field, taking out the Daruma cannon. Now you gotta be thinking, why did we not Daruma? We didn't know it was getting popped. It's non-target. You choose on resolution. As soon as you choose and they go, no, I wanna flip it, too freaking late, mate. Special summon the Renaud, grab back the Flame Swordsman in grave. So the ultimate Flame Swordsman, unfortunately, has nothing really cool happening as it just destroys a monster. Now we have an Omni Negate on top of triple spell and trap. So that's it. It's a full pin down. Negate the spell and trap card, negate the spell and trap card, negate the spell and trap card. Triple spell and trap card negate through Baron de Floor being the 3rd negate. And just wait, we let that go through? Okay. Wait. Hold up. You chained to turning off synchro, so before the synchro gets turned off, we do in fact get to now negate. Negate! Let's go. That was game, I mean, it wasn't really a misplay. There's nothing we could do. To be real, absolute insanity just like that. And I do believe the win rate is still super duper high for summoning your Charles, right? Let's look at the official in-game analytics here. Win rate when summoned, Emperor Charles. 90% win rate when summoned, and you saw it right then and there, just like that, all of them in a row. Wow. It goes from Angelica, and then you gain a 1% if you go to Roland, you gain a 1% if you go into the Emperor Charles, and then you gain that final 1% win rate, up to 90% win rate to summon the Charles the Great. And Kali Yuga, what the hell are you doing, mate? Oh my gosh. Let's keep on going. Flame Swordsman Infernoble versus Flame Swordsman Infernoble. What the hell is this? Let's get to it. What does the trap do again? The Salamandro chain. Target a fire on the field, equip this as an equip card, give it 700. Then you could change 1 effect monster in the field to face down defense. So non-targets of the opponent's monster flip face down, but you do target your own monster. Banish this from the graveyard to fusion summon. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Banish from grave to fuse. Let's go. Heritage of the Chalice. We're going to speed this up until the Flame Swordsman plays are going in. Ash, negate the search, mate, as you want to search for a Noble Arms card from your deck, which could be a monster or a equip card. Heroic Challenger, searching for the Heroic Call. Reborn, a warrior from the grave. The deck's goal is to get 2 warriors on the field to make the Isolde. If you can't do that, then you are in trouble. There's so many different ways to do it, but let's go. Marco, we got the Noble Arms Museum. Yours did not resolve, but ours did as we search for the Infernoble Arms. We had the Fighting Flame Swordsman, which is the 1-card combo for Flame Swordsman. We're going to Durendal equip onto the opponent's monster. What we could have done if we wanted to is on the activation of Durendal, we could have used Forbidden Droplet to send our monster and then it would not resolve. Would that be a good play? Probably not. Let's see, as we Flame Sword's Realm, discard a card, as we are now going to Fusion Summon into the Flame Swordsman, Special Summon the Renaud, add back from the grave to our hand Oliver, which could discard an equip card or a fire monster to Special Summon, as we now make our Isold. We're going to have to use that Droplet, right? Now, here's the problem. If you Droplet the first effect to stop the second effect, most people do play a second copy of Isold, which he doesn't. Marco doesn't, but Rhaegar does. So Rhaegar, knowing that himself plays more than one Isold, if you negate the first effect to stop the second, they just make a second copy, then you lose. So we're probably not going to see a negate on this early. We're going to wait for the second effect. Now, the second effect has a big cost of getting a bunch of equip cards from the deck into the grave. You have the Salamander Flying Flame Dragon, search in our deck for the Salamander Fusion. We're going to chain Salamander with Chain. What? Equipping onto the opponent's monster, and then you're gonna flip a card. Then you could flip a card face down. You're gonna equip onto it, then flip it face down, huh? I mean, you could fuse with face down monsters, but this is an equip card. This equip card being sent to the grave before it resolves is gonna stop it from performing its fusion summon play. Yup. While equipped, you could send this card and the equipped monster to the graveyard to then special summon. So that is actually a valuable play. What happened? We flipped ourselves face down? Can we not flip this down? What? You have to flip another monster face down? Equip this as an equip, then you could change one effect monster on the field to face down. Oh my gosh. It says effect monster. Flame Swordsman's not an effect monster. It has no effect. We wanted to flip it face down, but we couldn't. Oh my gosh. What the? Wow, that's crazy. All right, we're gonna send it to the graveyard. Forbidden Droplet to negate the Isold mate. Just like that. We have the Gearblade being sent to the graveyard by cost to activate a monster effect. And now we're gonna send the Flame Swordsman in the grave to come forth and summon the ultimate Flame Swordsman, which this card, of course, could be flipped face down. We're gonna pop a monster, burn for 500, 3,300 attack. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Link Karibo's now here. We're going to equip onto our Flame Swordsman, make a Promethean Princess. Promethean Reborn of Fire from the grave. Flame Swordsman is here. What the heck is this? 8,600 damage, but we're still cooking. Ferocious Flame Swordsman as we now go to the battle phase. 4,100 boost to over 10,000 damage. What the heck was that? How'd that happen? How did he do that? How'd he do that? How do we get that boost? Target a warrior you control. Until the end of this turn, it loses 1,000, but all of the monsters gain 1,000. It only gained 1,000. Did it boost? Double this card's attack until the end of this turn, but then destroy it during the end phase. Wow. So 5,000 attack, double it to 10K. 10 pie, step aside. Let's get to it. Let's do it. New song. I can't play anything that's not World of Warcraft while we're on the YouTube stream. I'm sorry. Copyright stops me from doing so. We could not get 2 warriors in the field. So, you know, we're playing 60 cards versus 40 cards. I guess that is a big problem, right? We're going to be less consistently getting our double warrior on the field if we were to instead play a 40-card deck. All right. Now, does this definitively mean that the 40-card version is better? I would not say that yet. I'd wait. Let's see. Flame Sword. Oh, how is it played in the TCG? Let's see. Let's go to TCG stats here. This is a 51-card deck. What about OCG? This is a 45-card deck. All right, so 60 is, you know, at the moment, not standard for a deck that has not been solved yet. But can we lethal under a Droplet and an Impermanence? Baron de Fleur, pop in the Impermanence. Imperm, negate the Baron de Fleur from being able to negate the Droplet, which Droplet has no monsters to send to the grave to ensure that the Baron de Fleur would not be able to negate it. We couldn't even force out the activation of Droplet, so we could potentially see a big comeback victory from Rhaegar. Now, of course, the Baron de Fleur is now again activatable to negate. Normal summon Max C, equip the Durendal onto our Max C. This is certainly a play. Yep, that was a play. Durendal trying to search to turn on our deck, but the Ash Blossom thwarts our plans, completely negating our final last resort search play. Baron de Floor has negate and a pop. Let's take out the Forbidden Droplet. Let's send the Angelic Ring and the Durendal to the grave to, we didn't send a monster. So the Baron de Floor does get to fully freaking negate, just like that. Infernoble, Flame Swordsman, let's go. It was very cool to see that 10,000 damage lethal though. Fusion deployment. Let's deploy our Cartesia onto the field. Let's speed this up. Activate Diffusion Summon into our Albion, which is completely untargetable. Kind of a weak play, but it is better than nothing. This is also not just a fully branded deck. We got Thunder Dragon up in here. The Albion, while being untargetable, can special summon an Albaz to fuse with the opponent's fields. So that's definitely going to be something. Let's see what happens from there. The Call of the Grave, I do think, will be another good form of disruption. The Brandon Red, I think, is conflicting with the Albion, so it's going to be competing between the two. Let's see. Snowgid triggering, grabbing the Rainbow here. As we now Gates of the Dark Worlds. We're not discarding to draw a card yet. We're going to be randomly discarding with the Mothman to draw a card here, triggering the Rainbow Engraver to search our deck for a Grapha. You are negated. No Grapha search for you, which could be maybe enough to stop all this gas. Let's find out. We are going to Genix Alley Birdman, the Bigfoot danger back to our hand. Allure of Darkness, banishing the newly drawn Rainbow that's already negated. We're now going to Dark World Gates, banish the Snow, discard the Ceruli, draw randomly into the corridor, special summon Ceruli, forcing us to discard Bigfoot. Bigfoot get poppin'. We could not target the Albion, as we now corridor search our deck for any Dark World monster we want, which is going to be the Genta. We're going to discard Jackalope, which will trigger to special summon a Mothman onto the field. Genta discard, set up another Gates of the Dark World, which is a soft once per turn. Card destruction, discarding both players' hands, revealing an anti-spell fragrance to just us. We got Dugaris. Draw 2, discard. We do not want the draw 2 discard to happen, so we're going to be reborning our Albaz, fuse with the Dugaris before the draw 2 discard play. And just like that, Dark World, which is supposed to go first, loses the duel. Now, if you Max C against Dark World, you lose. The Max C player. You do not want to Max C against them because they likely will have enough gas to completely deck you out. Let's find out. Card destruction in the opening hand. That's GG, right? That's it. You hard open card destruction. I guess the fear is you're going to help the opponent draw into some hand traps possibly. You got to really wait on it. Let's find out. Begin. Set up the Dark World Archives. We're going to use Mothman, randomly discarding the Grapha, which will be triggering the Archives, right? That doesn't trigger, actually. You discard a Dark World if you do. No, the other effect is if a Dark World is discarded. If a monster's original type discarded by the effect of a Dark World card, then you get to discard. So that wasn't a Dark World card to trigger to draw 2. That's a problem. How do we trigger the Archives? We're going to card destruction in desperation, potentially giving the opponent some hand traps here like a Max freaking C. Rainbow and discarded search in our deck for Silva. Banned. Used to be banned. Corridor grabbing the Snow. Discard the Snow. With all these cards in your hand, with a lot of them being spells, we could simply just flip up the anti-spell fragrance, and then as soon as this resolves, they do have the ability to chain quick play spells. Spells cannot be activated unless they are set for a full turn. And then the Griffin also states that any special summon monster cannot activate unless it's linked. So you need to have a link monster pointing to you, or the link monster needs to be pointing to something to be linked. Otherwise, you are not able to activate. So what do? You're not flipping up the anti-spell early. You allowed them to activate a Branded Lost. What is going on? We're going to chain anti-spell fragrance, and they're going to super poly in response to the anti-spell fragrance, which is what we're able to do. The final quick play spell, getting the Floodgate out of here. And without the Griffin Floodgate, what do we do, mate? Uh-oh. Well, we no longer have Griffin, so this is activatable. We're going to chain a session. Oh boy, boy, boy. So how are we able to activate in response to a fusion summon? Because there is a Branded Lost in the field. Branded Lost has missed the timing because the fusion summon needs to be the last thing to happen. The last thing to happen was Anti-Spell Fragrance being flipped face up. So we do get to chain. We're going to fusion summon. Come to us, come forth into Dragon Overlord of Dark World, which will be able to negate the Mirror Jade. Gold's being discarded, archives triggering to draw 2. And right here, right now, is when we have the ability to negate the Mirror Jade from non-target monster banish, which we chose to not do. Interesting. Okay, sure. Reborn, Lucent trigger, Grapha trigger. Now, this trigger states that you're going to special summon a Grapha, and then each player discards a card. Let's go. Mercourier is going to completely negate that, which we could have chain link blocked the Lucent. Put Lucent on... Wait, is Lucent a mandatory trigger? If this card is discarded, you don't optionally special summon. It says you have to special summon. So it must be the lowest chain link, with this being optional. So we could not even chain link block the Mercourier had we wanted to. Negates. Lucent, Reborn from the Grave. And what just activated? I didn't even see it in the hand. The hand is too large. What is activating? It just like that, branded 2-0ing Dark World. Interesting duels we have here today. I'm loving it. Lost the time limit. How'd you time limit out? What the?